So you need to write a standout job description that attracts top talent, but you don't know where to start. Or maybe you have a job description that isn't enticing the right candidate, and now you want to make improvements to it. In this video, I'm walking you through 6 easy steps to write the perfect job description so you can quickly discover candidates that are the right fit for your open positions and your company culture. This video is part 1 of a special 3-part video series dedicated to helping HR professionals, recruiters, and hiring managers find and recruit their ideal candidate. If we've never met before, I'm Heather from ProfessorAustin.com, and over the years, I've taught hundreds of thousands of professionals from all across the globe how to build their personal brand so that they can land their dream job and grow in a field they love. So if you're new to my channel, and if you want to stay in the loop on all things career related, consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification down below. And a big thank you to ZipRecruiter for sponsoring this week's video, but more on that later. So let's talk about why you even need a good job description. First, it's one of the best ways to reach your perfect employee and inspire them to apply for your open position right away. Second, a bad job description can make that golden candidate zone out, feel overwhelmed, and simply move on without ever applying in the first place. Now, the key to writing a good job description is to create a balance. You need to speak to your ideal candidate's qualifications, but you also need to show them that the position will be a good challenge and will give them opportunity to grow in their career. Now, before I jump into the 6 simple steps to write a stellar job description, there are a few key parts that every good job description should have. First, you should always have a summary or some sort of overview section. Second, you want a job responsibilities section. Third, a skills and qualifications section. Fourth, a salary and benefits section, and as a bonus, an equal opportunity employment section. Now, I'd love to know in the comments below if you've ever attracted the wrong candidate. Let's continue the conversation down there. So the first step I have for you when it comes to writing a great job description is to be strategic. It's important to develop your job description with a strategic approach in mind. One of the hardest parts about writing a good job description is being able to narrow in on the exact skills, talents, and expertise you really need, and to eliminate what would simply be a nice bonus. You probably have lots of things you want in a candidate, and once you start writing it down, you'll probably want to keep adding more and more. But slow down. Think about that perfect candidate. Put yourself in their shoes and imagine the job seeker journey. What do you want them to experience when they first view your posting? A lot of the time, they're looking at dozens or even hundreds of job postings every day. If yours is too long to read, too confusing, or too intimidating, they're not going to waste their time. So you need to write your strategic job description with the candidate experience always in mind. A little trick I like to implement is writing the job description in second person. Here's an example. You'll utilize your skills in project management to organize and implement projects from start to end. Or you'll use your effective communication skills to present concepts and ideas to the management team. Really think about your tone. It should come across as professional, friendly, and inviting without being too wordy. Here are some strategic guidelines you can follow. Stick with basic terms and shorter sentences. Use an easy to read combination of clear headings, bullets, and short paragraphs. Use keywords that the job seeker might be searching for that will make them think, hey, this is me. Now, the other thing you want to do is to avoid using company jargon and potentially discriminating terms like young or businessman. In fact, a survey conducted by ZipRecruiter showed that removing gendered keywords from job ads gets you more applicants. Now, with these strategies in mind, you can start crafting your sections, which leads us to step number 2, and that is to write an effective summary or overview. This shouldn't be very long, and it should catch the right job seeker's attention. Use 2 to 3 sentences to briefly explain who the organization is, what the major functions of the position are, and what pain points the ideal candidate will help the company overcome. You can also add statements like, come join a dynamic team of project managers dedicated to coordinating and completing projects on time, within budget, and within scope. Now, hey, do me a favor, if you're finding value in this video, be sure to click the like button down below. The YouTube algorithm loves it, and it will put this video in front of more professionals just like you. I'd really appreciate it. Now, the third step in writing a great job description is to list growth-oriented job duties. You need to explain what the job entails and what the key responsibilities are. Think of this as an explanation of the day in the life of, where you walk through a typical day in this role and how the position contributes to the overall well-being of the company. Now, how you decide to phrase this is totally up to you, but what is not optional is making a bulleted list of growth-oriented responsibilities in order of importance. Picking and writing these responsibilities can be tricky. I know there are a lot of things you probably need in your ideal candidate, but do your very best not to make a really long wish list. This list needs to properly explain the job without being too long and overwhelming. It's ideal if you can stick with 5 top responsibilities. If you're having a hard time narrowing in on the top 5 items, you can always add another section, like additional similar duties as needed, and place some of the items there. It's also a good idea to spend some time talking with the team or a direct supervisor who will be working with the new employee to get a firm understanding of what they need in the ideal candidate. And with that, let's take a second to thank the fantastic sponsor of today's episode and of our 3-part video series dedicated to helping you hire and recruit top talent, ZipRecruiter. With the constantly evolving job market, ZipRecruiter is the #1 source for cutting through all the noise and connecting businesses with top talent. They're able to reach millions of job seekers through their site, emails, and their #1 rated job seeker app. They have become so proficient at making meaningful matches that 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now, talk about making hiring easier and faster and simply a better job search experience for millions of people. My favorite part about ZipRecruiter is their sleek, easy to use candidate dashboard where you can post a job, review the resume database, or quickly examine candidates they've matched up with their powerful algorithm. Now, to get started for free, go to ZipRecruiter.com/Heather Austin. You're just minutes away from posting your first job. Now let's jump back into it. The fourth step to writing a great job description is to list a good combination of skills and qualifications. This means writing a section about what the candidate needs to have. Think about things like knowledge, technical skills, certification, education, and even character or personality traits. This is perhaps the hardest section to get right and where most job seekers often get scared off from. While you do want to discourage unqualified candidates from applying for your job in the first place, be careful not to disqualify anyone who could actually be a great fit for your job. One way to avoid chasing off your golden candidate is by avoiding writing too many qualifications. Stick with 5 main qualifications and only include the ones that are of top priority. Now, if you have a hard time narrowing it down, it's a great idea to break this section into a couple different sections. One could be called required qualifications and the other could be called preferred qualifications. Another thing to be aware of is your years of experience. I encourage you to consider leaving number of years required experience off the job description. Having more years of experience doesn't necessarily mean being more competent, and being younger or newer to the industry doesn't mean they won't learn fast and work hard. Likewise, some advanced degrees for some positions are also not necessary to perform the job well. Now, the 5th step to write a great job description is to entice with salary and benefits. Now, believe it or not, I almost always recommend disclosing the salary for the position straight away on the job posting. I know it can put you in a very vulnerable position as a company, but if you are willing to pay even a decent salary, and if you also value your existing employees, I say it's worth the vulnerability. Now, the majority of companies don't do this, but adding a salary entices job seekers who are a good fit to apply to the job, but it will automatically filter out anyone who isn't willing to take the job for that pay. It's better to put it out there now than to take candidates all the way to the offer and negotiation phase to discover that they won't work for what you're willing to pay. Now, I do recommend writing a salary range so that you have some wiggle room depending on a person's qualifications. You should also absolutely list any other benefit like 401k matching, commissions, health insurance, paid time off, training. Maybe there's even some relocation expenses, parental leave, casual Fridays, gym memberships, company parties. There's a lot of other perks involved. The point of this section is to convince an applicant that the job is worth applying for, so make it sound enticing. Step number 6 to write a great job description is to write a good job title. It sounds a little backwards to do this at the end, but I actually think this is the best best way to do it. Once you have the entire job description written, you know exactly what you're looking for. Sometimes if you write the job title first, but then start writing the responsibilities, you realize that you might actually need something a little different than you thought. For example, you might have thought you needed a data analyst, but you actually needed a data scientist. When you write the title, think about using good, clear keywords. What would your golden candidate search for? Your title should say those words. Make sure it's clear to anyone outside of the company too. A bad example of this might be data team member 2. Outside of the company, the 2 doesn't mean anything, and probably they won't search for data team member either. Instead, write something like junior data scientist. You can also add in any specialization or other keywords to the job. For example, junior data scientist hyphen data visualization. This will help draw in the people who are closer to an exact match to your job. Finally, wordiness, abbreviations, and vague cliches like data ninja are not acceptable. Now remember, if you want to quickly connect with millions of job seekers to find your ideal candidate, take a look at this week's video sponsor, ZipRecruiter, where you can have your first job posting up in just minutes. I'll place a special link for you down below. And for even more career how-to videos, make sure you take a look at this video right here. And if you like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button down below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos just like this, and I'll see you in the next video.